That's right. Big V was on stage, but we're talking about Tesla right now. That's Elon Musk, another billionaire who's making a lot of head waves around the globe. What we see here, he's mad at the SEC. He's always mad at the SEC, right? Typically, is what he does. So in this new report we have, I think it's out of CNBC, he's talking about basically how... we got a lot of stuff going on here. Basically, we got how he's upset with the SEC and how they've been handling dispute over a 2018 case where they silenced him. If you go back through the meme book, you can see that in 2018, the SEC said to him, hey, you need to have a babysitter on your Twitter account. They also fined him for tweeting out some iffy tweets about the stock price of Tesla and saying if they should take it private or not at 420. And now, 3-4 years later, he's looking at it and being like, hey, this was kind of funky, this was not something that you guys should have done. We're also wondering where this $40 million that you fined and should have been given out to shareholders went to. Hasn't been distributed to date. It's still sitting in the SEC's coffers. So he's asking the SEC for clarity around what happened there. Jen, I'm going to throw the story up to you. What's your take on it? Elon Musk is obviously always in the news, but this seems to be like a little bit more important given the SEC's play within the larger crypto space and within the larger equity markets.
Yeah, Elon has been on a tear lately when it comes to governments. He's even been taking a few stabs at the Canadian government. When I was reading this, though, I had to side, I think, with Elon. So if we look back at the tweet that he tweeted in 2018, he said, I'm considering taking Tesla private at $420, funding secured. And so the SEC went on to say that this is a disservice to consumers. He's misleading consumers. And when I look at that, I mean, he's saying he's considering taking it private, right? Things can definitely change. And this is purely my opinion, but I feel like if he had said that in an interview, let's say with a news organization, it wouldn't be such a big deal. I think the SEC is so closely watching his Twitter for reasons unknown. And the fact that that $40 million that was supposed to go back to consumers who were allegedly hurt by this tweet has still not been distributed, and it's 3 years later, I think it adds to his argument. I think it's pretty strong. But Sandeli, I'll pass it up to you.
Thanks. I totally agree with you on that. But also, like, just one thing to point out, we know that Musk has a little bit of a tendency towards obscuring attention on often negative issues concerning Tesla or himself by either tweeting about crypto or something else. And although I think he's raising some valid points in the letter, especially asking why the SEC hasn't paid out the investors, there's also like a risk that he might be deflecting. Reuters, for example, reported that the letter was filed 8 days after California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing sued Tesla over allegations that Black workers had to tolerate racial discrimination in a California plant. Also, like the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration apparently opened a formal probe into some like 400,000 Teslas after receiving complaints about a braking incident. So a lot going on here. Will, I saw your hand. I'm going to pass it to you.
Yeah, I just want to jump on what Jen was saying. She said that there's no reason for the SEC taking on this case with Elon Musk. And I think from their perspective, and perhaps this is unfair, but devil's advocate here, their concern with it was basically him manipulating the stock price of Tesla. Basically, as the CEO, chairman of Tesla at the time, his tweets were having an active impact on the market price of Tesla, which could impact like tons of different shareholders, even retail investors. So that was basically their critique of it. But Zach, I want to throw it back to you.
Thanks, Will. I see you. I just want to say that like it is funny to see market manipulation in the Twitter space, like pretty much existing like rampantly, right? Like you've seen Elon Musk tweet about Doge temporarily moons and goes and does its own thing, right? You see this happen in crypto markets in a much more sort of raw and naked way. So to hear this conversation relative to securities law is interesting, different than what we see and we're kind of inured to in the crypto space when it comes to big figureheads like Elon Musk going out on Twitter and saying how great Dogecoin is or something.
It's all like crypto. It's all like crypto. Everything's the same.
I guess so. So anyway, that's all I got. I think we should change topics.
Well, who's up?
Oh, and also I will say, it hasn't stopped Elon from tweeting spicy. This morning, some questionable memes were shared in relation to Canadian
What
Prime
is
Minister
gonna stop
Justin
Elon?
Trudeau. So the chilling effect's not too chilly. So anyway.
No one's stopping
Also,
Elon.
if I
No one's
said
stopping
no
Elon.
reason,
But
I didn't mean no reason. I just meant all these years later to refer back to that. So I'm with you,
Well,
Will. And
Jen,
the
that's
wrong
how it
thing
came
out of my
across.
mouth. I know. I'm sorry, but thank you for correcting me and
guys.
bringing the other side of the story.